What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 1 of the NXS Podcast. My name is V, joined by the wonderful Basic. We are both the founders, if you will, of Nexus Esports. If you don't know what Nexus Esports is, basically we're a new up-and-coming esports community. It's based around FPS gaming, but we are and will be looking into expanding into other competitive genres as well. We might even have a farm sim team at one point. You never know. We're going to be all-inclusive. Who knows? But welcome to episode 1. Today, we want to give you guys an idea of where we started. We want to let you guys know the background of why Nexus started and what the heart is behind what we do. We like to look at ourselves as a bit different. We like to look at ourselves as a little different run, if you will. We're laid back, we're chill, but we do have aspirations to be in multiple big-name competitions going forward. Matter of fact, and I'll let Basic go more into in depth in this at a later point during the podcast, but we are looking and are actively recruiting for both male and female competitive Call of Duty multiplayer teams, as well as a Warzone team. We'll look into things like Apex as well, so if you guys are interested in that, join the community and keep yourself up to date and in touch with what the organization does. So, but as I said before, I'm joined by Basic. Basic has a lot of experience in the competitive Call of Duty arena. She has a lot of experience in content, sitting over here on like 15,000 plus on TikTok. So basically what I'm saying is we have a famous person that's with us for Nexus org. But Basic, what's up? How you doing? First podcast. How you feeling?
Yeah, I definitely feel a little nervous. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll loosen up a little bit. We'll see.
I can tell you over there, tight up a little bit, a little tight in terms of the responses. We're gonna get her there. So, what we talked about this. This was a brainchild of we've been friends for a long time through mutual connections. What started the brainchild of an organization in your thoughts that turned into whatever Nexus is becoming?
I would say the openness of being, boss versus a leader. Boss tells you what to do, a leader shows you by example. And so I like the fact of being able to lead by example on how certain aspects should be handled and situations, and then how we want to put our twist on getting to the next level, or eventually, I would love to see us go to, the world of Warzone, something like that. So I want to see where we can take it with the way that you and I think.
Right. So you've had, speaking of that, you've had a lot of experience with some upper levels of competition. You guys have, currently we're about to start next week in terms of going through basically what will be an echelon list of different players who are interested in being involved with what we're doing. And you and one of our active members, Penguin, is actually going to be heading that up. What's important to you about treating players? What's your top 2 or 3 things you feel like about how we do things differently in terms of treating our community members and players that makes us any different? Because I know what I think, but what do you think?
I'd say, the fact that none of us know what somebody's going through because we're not in their personal life. We may know some things or know our online friends pretty well, but on a how much of a personal level do you really know that person? And so I think, like I said about the lead by example, I want to treat others how you want to be treated, and I want to build a community that doesn't feel that they don't belong in any way, shape, or form, and that we're always willing to either work with you or help you try to figure out what's going on and how we can make things better. Treating them more like just, more of a family than just a friend on Discord that you could throw away.
I'm with you on that. I think that's kind of when we first had the beginning discussions about our I guess agreed mindset in terms of the way we were hearing from some players from different organizations and their concerns. And that's not to say that we won't do things wrong. That's not to say that we won't mess up here and there. Everybody's going to have their growing pains, but I'm right there with you. You don't know how much a person's personal life and things that are happening with them can affect why they're involved or can affect how they respond to even constructive criticism at time from a team lead. And at the end of the day, yes, there is an aspect to what we do where there's a leadership ladder. Obviously, yeah, you go to this person, and then if it escalates, it goes to this person. Yes, obviously that'll happen. We're not talking about being unprofessional, but we are talking about being a family. We are talking about treating each other as family members, being here for one another, actually being able to. It's one thing that I feel that we do differently. Even from step A, there is a lot about this community that is not based on just, we've put just as much effort as of now into who we want to get involved with us, which we're being very careful about in terms of trusting them with our community. But we put just as much effort into that as we have the idea of how we're going to fund it, how we're going to back these players, how we're going to back this community, how we're going to give support to players, content creators, team leads, whatever it may be, because Nexus won't just stop at gaming. It's going to be a real life thing. It's going to be something where people can come talk to other people with struggles. And so, I think what makes us different is that we aren't just looking to get players that can help us go to the next level. We're looking to provide the next level for those players and to, to do what we can to get them there. Now, in terms of your background, though, you have quite an extensive background. I have a lot of background in Warzone, but you have a lot of background in the multiplayer stance. So where are you kind of at with that? Because you and Penguin are heading up multiplayer side. So what's your history in the multiplayer arena?
I've for as long as COD's been online, I've had, you know, experience with team deathmatch, search and destroy, all that. Granted, playing the competitive side, I would say I've only been in competitive for probably the last year. Even in Modern Warfare 2, I dabbled in it here and there. I didn't really take it seriously, or at least team up with an organization. But we did pretty good. We weren't a household name or
Right.
even close. But yeah, and then played for another organization before coming here on their all-female competitive team. Amazing people, and just decided that it was time to move in a little different direction, but still hoping to head up a female team.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. We have a lot of people that are here even now that have a lot of experience, but even more have a heart for going forward in the competitive scene. Myself in Warzone, I've been playing. I don't know. I don't think I've been in competitive for ever since PUBG was there through Blackout into Warzone 1, 2, and 3. I've been in tournaments ever since then, and there's a lot under mine and other people's belts that have gained a lot of experience in doing things right and doing things wrong. In terms of organizations, however, I think the previous one for you might have been, I think that was your first organizational experience, I think, before this. And that's the same, that's held the same for a lot of our people that came from, other places that had made connections, and they just, like you said, had felt like they needed to move on to another area in life. I think I'm going to say that this is upwards of above 10 for me that I've been in over about 10 years, about 10 or 12 years now, in terms of most of which ended very good. I still talk to the owners of a lot of them. Some of them don't exist anymore, just because they had other things in life happen. But just goes to show that we're not too worried about whether you've been in 15 or 20 or if you've been in one. It doesn't really make a difference to us. A lot of the people that are involved currently with us on the leadership side of things may be small. However, a lot of them have real life experience in terms of actually leading teams at work, or they have, they understand people's mindsets in terms of how it's affecting their lives and their finances. And that's who we prefer to bring on. So I think with Nexus, we talked a long time. We had a long conversation about the name. We had a long conversation about the name. We had a long conversation about the logo. It took us a minute. Because granted, I think everything with this organization happened pretty quickly, and we put it all together. We put it all together in a jiffy because it was a mindset, and unfortunately, the people who are involved with this, when we get a mindset, we just go at it. And so, the name, what ended us up on Nexus?
I mean, it was the message of constantly just throwing out a ton of names and, do we want to have something with little meaning behind it? Do we want something that's got just a catchy name, no meaning behind it? Do we want to go, you know, like a classier Greek letter, Latin? All these different ideas, and we wanted to, I would say, come up with something that actually means something and backs what the organization stands on. And then
Right.
you actually put Nexus in the chat, and then you explained what it means. And I apologize, I don't remember exactly word for word, but if you
No.
wanted to repeat it, I'd love to
Yeah.
hear it.
Nexus in general, because again, there was about 50 names thrown out in a span of 5 minutes at that point. The idea of Nexus is it's a series of connections that end up at one endpoint. And that's pretty much what Nexus Esports is. Nexus is all the people that are involved in it were brought together through other connections, other people, other organizations, other games, and they've just ended up here. And so we like to think of whatever this is we're creating as sort of the center point for a lot of people in their connections. And they've brought friends, they've brought other players. So Nexus in general, I think it was a catchy name that we ended up on, especially with NXS, but it's also something that pretty much explains by itself why Nexus was formed. It's just a part of what we do. Now going forward, in terms of our aspirations, what especially on the multiplayer side, I can sort of knock on the Warzone side, but in multiplayer, what is say for the male team, because you got hinted at it earlier, but male and female teams, what are our end goals with them?
Ultimately, I'll, kind of elaborate more on the female side. I'd love to build a female team and get into the WXC. Uh, you know, make the tryouts, if you will, into the league, building a name for the female community, showing other females, hey, you know what? You can do this. Hey, you can be a mom. Hey, you can be an elder millennial and still be good at a video game. You don't have to think of it as something that's either a time waster, And so I want to build a team of, they don't have to be the best.
Right.
But if we can get to where we can get on the same wavelength and grow as a team, it'd be easy to start crushing lands and go from there.
And that hits on a pretty personal note for you, if I'm not wrong, in terms of, you mentioned that you can be a mom and you can be, and for you, how important is that for you as a mom with a little guy and playing in the competitive arena? And shoot, there's going to be other moms, there's going to be other, young ladies who are sitting there wondering if it's possible. What do you say to that?
I would say, as a mom, you lose yourself as a person and your child becomes your whole identity. And so for me to find something that I can manage at home and still find the time where I'm taking, I'm gaming in between his naps, or, I'm gaming in between his feeds, whatever it may be, the fact that I'm able to do something that makes me happy gives me a self-identity.
Right.
And I have the constant drive towards a goal, so I have something to look forward to that is an own personal interest that I had either before or after having my kid.
So in other words, if some people are wondering if, hey, I've got life, I've got life in general, I've got work, I've got this, that, and the other, it's possible. It's possible, and it might even give you an avenue to express yourself you might not have had before. And so,
right.
I think that stands for guys too. If you're sitting there going, hey, I've got to do this, but I've got a kid. Because I'm a plumber. I get it. I understand a lot of guys are in trades work. There's not a lot of time in the day. And that's where, because I was going to say it earlier, but I think that's another area where we are very sensitive to, and we will always be very sensitive to understanding that people's lives, we're not looking to just grab the 16-year-old that's an up-and-coming rising star that has nothing to do but school, and he's got all afternoon every single day and weekends free, okay? There are other people that are older that have lives, that have children, and have real life responsibilities, but that also want to make it. They want to have an opportunity. And it's like the NFL. When you get to a certain point, you get 30, 40 years old, and nobody's looking to go to the NFL. Nobody's looking to sit there and make that happen. But we can help them make that happen here. We can give them an opportunity that, hey, okay, you're older, you got life going on. We can work with you. Let us give you an opportunity. Let us give you a chance to at least flex. Let us give you a chance to join the community and do what you do best, and we can help you with that. So I love that we're that way. I love having you on board. I love having Penguin with us, kind of doing some stuff, and I'm already excited for what the future of Nexus is going to be. I'm excited to see what our teams are doing. I know nothing about the multiplayer side, so Lord help I am not involved in it. I know nothing about the competitions. I don't know anything, I don't know nothing about it. But Warzone lead-wise, we do have a guy named Slim that is going to be helping us out with. Very good player, very solid player, content creator as well. He's going to be helping us out with the trial side of things. So for anyone watching, if you're interested in both multiplayer or Warzone or both, let us know. We'd be more than happy to have you come on and do all that stuff. I think, we talk about episodes. I don't know. So many people have seasons for their episodes of podcast. I don't even know if we're going to have a name for this podcast. I don't even know. This is an off the whim thing that we're kind of doing. We may have a name for this going forward. I couldn't tell you. It may stay exactly how you see it. I mean, we're going to have people on it, but we may just write it as it is. But what, before we end this deal, what would you tell people that are maybe looking for a place to come, whether they've been multiple places or if this is their first one? What would you tell them about us?
I would say, give us a shot. If you're wanting to get your feet wet and you've been too scared to pull the trigger and, give it a try, even if you felt that it wasn't right for you, come try it out. We're happy to have you. We're not going to make fun of you. We're not going to judge you. We'll help you grow, and just give it a try. Give it a shot. I promise that we'll treat you like family, and we've got big dreams and big goals.
Amen to that. Give it a shot. That's really the part of it, guys. If you're new, we want to welcome you in and be a part of the Nexus and join the family. If you haven't already, by the way, which I'm pretty sure you haven't, put a sub on the YouTube channel because you're watching this on YouTube right now. And if you haven't already, make sure you sub to the channel, put the notification bell on. There will be weekly episodes coming out. Not going to be too long. If you're on your drive to work, then good morning. If you're on your way home, then good evening. But thank you for joining us. If you guys have any questions about the organization, we will have Discord links put into our bio here on the YouTube. So if you want to join the community, if you want to talk to any of us, feel absolutely free to join that and get in contact with us. Going forward as well, we do have a TikTok that as of this point will have a video uploaded on it, and then we'll have stuff going on it weekly as well. So if you guys want to go involved with that, see some of the fun stuff we're doing, feel free to go and hit that link as well. Before we end it, there's one thing I want everybody to know about gaming. There's one thing I want everybody to know about us, about our mindset. Gaming is all inclusive. This community is all inclusive. I don't care where you come from, what color you are, how old you are, or what you eat for breakfast. You are welcome in what we're doing. You're welcome in this family. You're welcome in this community. And even more so, you're wanted in this community. You're wanted as a person. We want to see all of you guys' strengths. If you're an artist, show me your artwork. Show the community what you got. If you're a musician, play something for us. If you're a gamer, kick it in the butt and let us see how good you are. And God bless America. If you're just a person that wants to meet some new people, best way to do it is to get into the Nexus. We love you guys. Basic, anything else you want to say?
Just happy to have you.
Happy to have you guys. Thank you so much for watching episode 1. Episode 2 will be coming out next Saturday as well. So keep your eyes on it. Make sure you have the notification bell on. We'll see y'all's beautiful faces in the next one. And as always, it's time to get in the Nexus. Thank y'all.